Well then, good evening, people. I hope you're all having a wonderful time. I hope you're all enjoying yourselves. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful Friday. You are joining us for the Crusaders Podcast, episode 3. I am joined by my wonderful friends, InvisibleDizz.
Hello.
LancelotArcher.
What's up?
And SENPIEMAN.
That's me.
That is him.
That is indeed him.
That is him.
Right, we are absolutely boiling today in the UK. I think
melting.
I'm melting.
I have a sweat rag.
Yeah,
a sweat rag.
Are you sure that's a rag for your
towel.
sweat?
Yeah.
No, the other rag is hidden on this side.
Rag, you mean sock, right? You mean sock.
Yeah.
Sweat rag on the right. Other rag on the left.
Don't cross the rags.
Oh.
Never cross the
Ew.
rags.
Ew.
One is soft and blue, the other is permanently white and crusty.
Ugh.
Right, okay, I think we've
Anyway.
overstepped a border there. Okay, yeah, so we've reached up to like 32, 33 degrees in some places of the UK over the last few days this week. That has not been pleasant for most of us. Now, as
Which
we have
is
rightly
mid
mentioned,
80s Fahrenheit.
something like that, which is absolutely boiling for all of us. And as rightly mentioned by, I'm pretty sure all of us at least at some point over the last week, for anyone that doesn't live in the UK, we do not have aircon.
No.
When we are complaining that we are hot, we are hot. That is why. So, just a fair warning to everyone, we may complain quite a bit.
We are not a
British,
nation
we're
built
allowed to.
It is
for
in our
heat.
nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so, first point of call for all of us, being the gamers that we are. Who here watched the Cyberpunk Wire episode yesterday?
No,
I
I
caught
did.
the last 10 minutes of it and was very confused.
Well, you would be if you want to
It
call 10
was,
minutes.
it
Yeah.
was boring. Cyberpunk is not my game. It's not the game that I'm going to go to for launch. I may pick it up a little bit further down the line, but the hype train has no coal in the fire for that for me at the moment.
I'm not going to be a launch pickup either because I rarely am with games now because I think I've stressed enough times that I never pre-order anything.
Yeah.
Apart from Pokemon. Because with Pokemon, you know what you're getting. They're all the same. But yeah, like with Cyberpunk, I'm definitely going to get it, just not day of release.
I will. I am very much looking forward to this game. It reminds me very much of like Deus Ex, that type of cyberpunky. Well, it is cyberpunk, so it's very similar to that style of gameplay. So when I saw it, I was like, "Ooh, vibrant colors! It looks exciting. It's pretty." I was like, "I want to get this. It looks good.
Super pretty.
Oh, it does. I mean, we saw the behind closed door footage that they did at the MCM
We did.
last year, and I'd seen stuff before. And obviously, there was the E3 stuff, and then there was that really insane trailer that was like 2 years ago that came out for it. And then I was like, "Oh, that looks interesting." Had no idea when it was coming out until maybe about a couple of years ago, when they were like, "Oh, expect to see it sometime in the next year." And I was like, "Oh, looks so good." And then obviously last night they did their first episode, and I think there's another one planned in 2 weeks.
Yeah, they
Remember
said
correctly?
that every couple of weeks for now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like every couple of weeks up until release. It's going to be something about the game or something they'll do to keep people vested into it.
If
But
they keep
they-
it up every
something-
couple of weeks until release, that would be good. That would be awesome.
They probably could actually. Let's be fair. If it's Holly doing the hosting, which isn't hard for her to do, and it's only like half an hour per episode, I can imagine they could probably schedule that in pretty easy. But it looks like it's pre-recorded anyway, so it doesn't look like it will take too long for them to just edit a small 30-minute video, premiere it on Twitch, and go live with it, and that's it.
Well, especially if they're, as you say, doing it every couple of weeks. Like, with how big the game is looking like it's actually going to be, I honestly don't think little, small, half-hour segments every 2 weeks should be a problem whatsoever for showing new gameplay and new segments of the game. Because obviously, as was displayed today, the other day, or yesterday it may have been.
Yesterday, yeah.
They showed off the brand new, I think it was 7th area of Night City, being the Badlands, which looks completely kind of Death Valley kind of area of Los Angeles. Just absolutely pure desert, and that has never been shown before. So if they can show something like that each time, where it's something completely brand new, then I think it will actually manage to keep people vested in it and watching and everything else.
Yeah.
I think they'll keep sneaking, like, even if it's like a slight, either a split second or a 5-second clip, just something to catch your eye. Just like, damn, I've not seen that. Like, I like, and then after the stream ends or their episode ends, you're gonna go back and have a look at those 5 seconds again, just to be like, I've not seen this anywhere else. Like, what is this? It's brand new. I can't wait for an update. Like, as long as they keep dropping a little something new, everyone's going to be hooked.
Yeah, of course.
So is this something that they're doing at the moment just to kind of like fill the time because they've had to delay the game again? It's like a state of play every couple of weeks.
I think because E3 was meant to be around about, or E3 would have been up and coming at some point. It was about what, in 2 weeks E3 would have been
something
on?
like that,
yeah. Something like
2 weeks E3 would have been on, so they would have potentially had something prepped for E3. But obviously now it's like, well, since E3 is not on, and most of the major publishers are doing sort of like digital conferences or digital expos of some kind, they're probably doing, this is their version of it. So instead of it doing like, oh, we're just going to show you like over what would have been E3, like a week-long event, so over the course of 1 week at basically. E3, and then just be like, here's this bit of footage that we're going to show you in I don't know what the segment would have been like, say like a 30-minute segment they would have had on whatever stage. They could have been like, oh, we're going to spread it out over the course of the summer, and then once it gets, say, to like September, they'll do like, I'm saying like if they do something in September, they'd be like, here's a trailer of some kind, sort of like a trailer before the game comes out type thing. So they potentially could have done stuff like that.
Well, I managed to see the original announcement trailer, I think 8-9 years ago now, and absolutely fell in love with it. And then the fact that it went silent for
God knows how long.
6 odd years, where there was absolutely no information on it whatsoever. I honestly thought it was going to go the way of Scalebound, where it had just been cancelled and nothing had just announced for it. So I really, really wanted to play Scalebound. That looked really good, and
It looks so fun.
And then it got cancelled. So, but I thought that they were going to end up doing the same for Cyberpunk, and it turns out they were just still working on it, just behind the scenes. I'm glad they have.
Yeah, it's good. Sometimes it's good that when they give you something, then they keep it quiet for a while, and it builds their expectations of what to look forward to. Obviously, they're not going to be like, let's get everyone overly hyped for the games. Obviously, when you get overly hyped for something, comes in and doesn't meet your expectations, you're kind of like, oh man, I waited X amount of years for this, and it's not what I was hoping for type thing, which has happened to every gamer at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or not even gamer, just anyone with high expectations or something, and it doesn't meet that level, and you're like, oh, I feel betrayed.
So, Tech, you mentioned that the first trailer for Cyberpunk was about 9 years ago.
Somewhere around that, yeah.
So was it really that long ago? I don't remember it being that long ago.
No,
I think it was like...
It was.
Really?
I think it was back in like 2013, something like that.
So if that's the case, was it made for PS3 and Xbox 360?
No, it wasn't. No, so what it was, if I remember the trailer, it was the one where it was the very slow motion type, the one where there was the robot getting shot, but everything was in slow mo for the CG part of it. If Tech says it was out in 2013, it does kind of fit with how long I thought it was out, because it was kind of around about then that I saw the trailer and I was like, this game looks great. And like Tex, I completely forgot about the game because I didn't hear anything else past that trailer. But I remember they were like, this is coming out, but it was aimed for next gen. Like they were looking to do it for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, but nothing had come like in terms of confirmation. Like there was no, expect to see it this year on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. Nothing had come for it at that point. There was no news until 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And now it's like, and now we're at the tail end of the PS4 and I was gonna say 360, the Xbox One. Now it's like, this is going to be like one of the biggest launch titles for the next gen consoles.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I've just literally quickly searched it up, and it was first officially announced back in May 2012, and then the teaser trailer, which obviously myself and Lance have just mentioned, the slow motion one, was actually released in January 2013.
Oh my god, Jan? Was it really Jan?
Yeah, Jan 2013.
That was a long time ago for a game announcement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still surprised to this day that I actually still remember that. That is how much that announcement trailer had an impact on how excited I got for it, because it looked phenomenal.
I'm gonna have to check out those original trailers. I think really I do as well. To see what they look like.
The original trailer was. I mean, Senpai, if you want, like in this part, you could actually just like clip it into here.
I got this. It's good. It's good.
Nice little segment.
Yeah, shut up, Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Wow.
Yeah, because he broke the fourth wall, which is what he told us not to do.
Why am I the only one that got that reference?
Okay.
Because, I just let one fly over. I was like, I don't know what you're referring to.
Oh my god. So yeah, obviously they also showed the new feature, the whole brain dance feature, which is essentially done by someone called BD Recordings or Brain Dance Recordings, which essentially is that it is always recording the perception and senses of the person it is attached to. So when you get one come in, from what I picked up on the video anyway, you normally end up seeing like the flatline ones, which is basically someone has had the recording going and they suddenly die. It comes into you and then you've got to do some investigation as to what may have caused it. And this is all essentially kind of, think of Batman Arkham Knight when he's doing his whole kind of 3D recreation of a crime scene. It's like that, but with motion and in video. That's the way that I see that anyway. I don't know whether you guys saw similarities to that, but I really like the look of this because they could take the story in many, many different ways just based on what kind of BD recordings you come across and which ones you interact with first, in my opinion. What do you guys reckon?
Yeah, no, I agree. Potentially it can go that way. They showed obviously a start of what it's capable of doing, and obviously they're gonna. I mean, they're not gonna obviously show us everything that you can do, but they were like, "Oh, here's a basic of what you can expect," and then it was like later on, probably as you play more of the game, you'll unlock more advanced features depending if they've got like a skill tree or something like that can work towards it. So yeah, I can see it happening.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm interested to see how it turns out, but. We'll see what happens to the hype. But if I go looking back through the archives and seeing what they've announced previously,
yeah, and then also weirdly enough, after the announcement of that, after the episode came out, Secret Labs announced their Cyberpunk themed chair, the limited edition one for it, and I was like,
oh god, that's going to be garish.
It was yesterday. So in the episode yesterday, Holly was sitting in the Cyberpunk chair. And they announced it today. They were like, "Oh, we've just released the Cyberpunk chair." And I looked and went, "That's really freaking yellow. That's a very yellow chair." I mean, the logo looks fantastic on the chair, but I was like, "That's really freaking yellow."
I think I saw on Twitter already that they're doing a giveaway. Like they're giving away 2 of them. Like just those normal like follow and retweet to enter. Like I never do them anymore.
No, there's no.
Especially for a chair that I don't need.
Just free advertising.
It's free advertising. You never know. You could actually be one of those people who gets the chair.
You could.
I don't need a chair. I don't need another chair.
I'll take it. Enter for me.
You know what? Fine. If you actually want the chair, I will enter for you.
Yeah, I'll take another chair.
And then if I win, you can buy it from me.
Yes.
No.
How's that?
No.
That's one way of dealing with it, I suppose.
Hey, your man's poor. He needs a quick buck. You know?
Then sell it to some other bum on the internet.
Yeah, literally, I'm just sitting here with a sweat rag and a different rag. I mean, your man's poor, man. Your man's poor. That's all I've got to my name. So, anyway,
just very quickly going back to the BD recordings. One thing I did find slightly forced but very funny at the same time was the fact that they kept mentioning it can also be used for adult media consumption.
Sorry, there was light literally coming through from the window. Had to.
That's all right.
They did mention that a few times.
Yeah, adult media consumption. So essentially, because it's essentially a new form of VR, I suppose. But it's also meant to interact
I thought we were still talking about the chair, sorry.
No, not the chair. The BD recordings.
Wow.
Yes,
we're talking about
the chair is now adult media content. Stick it all up here, but why not?
Watching porn in.
Hey, everyone's got their favourite chair for that, man.
And obviously everyone's already sitting in it.
Need that special chair.
But yeah, like having it kind of forced down your neck, but then at the same time also kind of not. Or just makes me wonder if any of that adult content media consumption is going to be included in the game. I mean, it's going to be rated 18 anyway.
Can you watch
me
me
wonder if they
game, basically?
Yeah, it makes me wonder if they will include something of that sort. I mean, obviously GTA goes down that route pretty often. Why can't other games?
It will probably only go as far as the GTA route, with the strip club, and you'll see some boobies here and there. I can't imagine the game's going to go further than that.
I don't know. Mass Effect did it.
True.
Okay, so what was in Mass Effect?
Pretty much full on.
And I'm pretty sure there was some scenes in Witcher 3 as well, which were pretty much full on. So,
I have not reached those scenes yet.
And considering that Witcher is by the same company.
Exactly. I don't think they're going to shy away from it.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't stand to reason for them to not have it. I mean, as long as it doesn't look like the Lawnmower Man sex scenes, it's all fine,
Well, I don't think it will, especially if you consider, obviously, like, with Witcher 3...
I think Have you seen Lawnmower Man first?
No.
Okay, then,
so that's why I didn't get it, and I just skipped straight over it.
Because Lawnmower Man was supposed to be it was a film with Pierce Brosnan, way back when they were first introducing VR tech, and it was like ridiculously bad VR tech. Everyone was looking like T1000s, and it was just back when you might have seen those contraptions where they used to have these massive rings, and it was attached to like harnesses and stuff, and it was they had walking platforms underneath, and then the headset was quite literally 3 times the size of a standard one now. And
so a Virtual Boy then.
Yeah, probably yeah.
Huge.
And what it was, obviously, then it would link up the thing, but the VR itself was quite literally everyone turned into T1000s. And then Lawnmower Man, there's a scene where the main protagonist and a lady who is his neighbor, who he's developed a relationship with, go into VR and have sex, and he's just quite literally watching liquid metal merge together, and you're like, that's not cool, that looks terrible. I don't know where this went, but this is just odd. And if this is the future of VR,
Yeah. Well, they have already announced that you will be able to adjust your genitals as well, so that should be fun, and also gives me reason to wonder if they are also going to include that kind of thing. So I think they will.
So is this at the beginning in character customization?
During the character customization, yeah.
Oh god, Diz is going to have an absolute field day with that.
Oh god, yeah, he is.
Diz is going to make the absolute
5 minutes
character
into
for
his
biggest
stream.
dickus.
Yeah.
Because seriously, my character's just going to have 3 legs.
He's going to have 3 legs, and
he's going to have a shoe at the bottom.
Wow. And then watch as Diz is immediately banned for TOS within the first 5 minutes.
And the balls are going to be like my character's chins in Dauntless.
Yeah. Oh my god.
What? Here comes the Crimson Chin.
No.
You know it, man.
Wow. She's probably like, oh, it's that Crimson dude from Cyberpunk. Oh, he's walking down the street. Good lord.
My god, what a random thing to put in a game, but hey,
whatever works.
Yeah,
exactly. It's CD Projekt Red.
Exactly. So,
I mean, they don't talk about story or the look of the game or the RTX in it. They want you to know that you can have pink balls.
I mean, why not if you can?
That's all I need to know. I'm now pre-ordering.
Breaking the rule. This has gone.
He's going to do one stream of it, and it's going to be 3 hours of customer characterization. I did it again. Character.
Yeah, character customization.
And that's it.
Yeah,
I do that. In retail. I do that in retail all the time. Customer characterization, always.
100%. I will never play it again after that.
Yeah,
I will never play it.
It was like this is gonna be like I speed run through Cyberpunk. What happened? I made my character done.
Yeah.
So
AAA game.
So let's talk about.
I don't need to know what happened at the end.
Let's talk about the main topic that always seems to come up with Cyberpunk, and with good reason. They always explain why it's happening, but the delays that we don't constantly get. It just when we're nearing the time, they just kind of push it a little bit more. Do you guys reckon any more delays will happen. Right now, they've currently said November 19th.
Okay, here's the reason why I don't think it will be delayed now. Because obviously last night, when the episode ended, they were like Cyberpunk 2077, November 19th. They were like, officially, that's the release date for it. Now, obviously last episode, we mentioned there was obviously the leak PS5 date. Did we mention that last week, or was that
it was
after?
No, it was after.
It was after. So after the episode we recorded in regards to the PlayStation 5 announcement and so forth, there was a leak that came out in regards to when the rumored when PlayStation 5's rumored release date would be, or the window for it. Now, this came from a French Amazon site, and I don't know if normally that's a legit source, but it came from the thing. There was a screenshot and everything, and the date was 20th November for the PlayStation 5 release. So with Cyberpunk being released on the 19th of November and the rumored PlayStation 5 release date being on the 20th, methinks we see a bundle and a launch game title.
Well, it's already being bundled with the was it the Xbox Series X? No, it's the Xbox One X. It's getting bundled with for a special edition. I imagine they'll probably do one for the PS4 as well, and probably one for PS5 and Xbox Series X as well.
Yeah.
And didn't they also say last night, they confirmed that if you bought the current gen's version of the game and upgrade to the next gen's, it's free.
It's not
or was it just
an upgrade.
Xbox?
It will work on the PS5.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask about.
Because obviously the next gen consoles are both going to be backwards compatible with that game. And then they also announced that both of the next gen consoles, after the release, will get an update to them to essentially upgrade them to something that can only run on that spec console.
Yeah.
So, although why they would have to do that, I don't know, especially considering, PCs are going to be working just as well, or if not better still than PS5 and Xbox Series X anyway. Why not have the update ready for whenever they launch?
That's true. Yeah. That's true. But then again, you got to remember the reason why people have consoles and all this. That whole console versus PC thing's for another time, but most of us know the reason why some people prefer the console, some people like PCs, and in this case, it's more like if they were doing it for console, it's just ease of access. The main reason is obviously PCs will obviously be better in terms of technical aspects, but
True. But no, I don't think there will be any more delays. As Lance said, like they've said November 19th. I think it's going to be far too close to the Xbox Series X and the PS5 release. I don't think they're going to be able to push it back anymore now. They did say during the announcement that it would literally be just to make sure that everything is fixed. Now, obviously, CD Projekt Red are big on making sure that their games don't turn out like Bethesda or Bethesda, however you want to pronounce it.
That company.
That one. And having buggy messes, they don't want to do it. Witcher 3 was easily one of the cleanest releases I've seen for bugs. I didn't see any in any of my playthrough, so I highly respect their QA sessions, and I'm actually glad that they're taking the extra time to make sure it's all clean, because I honestly think this is going to be 2 or 3 times bigger than Witcher 3.
I can imagine it will be. Yeah.
Is there any early numbers as to how many people have pre-ordered it, or do they not release those numbers yet?
They don't.
I've never seen anyone release that.
I know that's not true. There have been some places that have released, but it's more like unofficial third parties who have got information from other places. But then there was people. But then obviously the publisher's always been, we're not justifying the number of pre-orders.
Yeah, because obviously pre-orders don't always mean sales.
Exactly. Pre-orders don't always mean sales, but that's why they don't really do it. But there have been places that have done it, though. I think it's depending on the game and the company, I think, itself as well, like the publisher.
It'd be similar to Steam releasing wishlist numbers for a game that hasn't released yet, but wishlists don't always turn into sales on launch.
Exactly.
So it'd be kind of.
I think all of us have something in a wish list right now, which is like, oh, I'm gonna save it in there. Do you buy it on release? No, but it's in there. You know.
Yeah.
But I have one in there right now, but that's just because I don't want to pay full price for it, even though currently it's on sale. But
yeah, I've got about 50 odd games in my wish list at the moment, and half of them are on sale, but I haven't even touched any of them yet, and that's mostly because whilst they look like good games, one, I've just recently bought an extra couple of games that I'm gonna have to take a lot of time to play through anyway, and two, the discounts for me being on the Steam Summer Sale just aren't big enough. if that makes sense, to what I was hoping for. I mostly add games to my wish list purely so that I can track whenever they go on sale, not because I want someone to buy them for me, but just so I can track the sales.
No, I'm exactly the same with mine.
And that actually very well brings us on to our next topic, which is the Steam Summer Sale and any recommendations from everyone. Now, obviously, that only just started at 6 p.m. UK time yesterday, so it's been just over 24 hours. We were looking at making not necessarily a list of games that we recommend, but basically just make any recommendations for games that people might want to look at getting. Who wants to crack on?
I can go.
I
was gonna say mine's only quite literally like 3 games I've only got so far, so my list isn't big. So you guys probably might have more, but since the sale started, I've literally picked up 3 games. One was kind of bundled together, because it was sort of like that you can get this with another one involved or another one in it. So the first one I picked up was Tierra. It was like £3.50 yesterday, so I thought, why not pick it up?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I'd get that. And another one was a game.
Multiplayer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have to teach me how to play the game, but sure, let's do it.
I need someone to teach me how to play the game.
Wait, I've just bought the game. And you're like, yeah, let's play multiplayer.
I've done one stream. I've done one stream where Renza joined me, and he did everything. I just stood there looking pretty.
Well.
Okay, as pretty as I can.
Okay. And the second one I picked up was a game called Valkyria Chronicles. Now, this is a Japanese JRPG game which came out on the PlayStation 3 initially, and the bundle I picked up had game number 1 and then game number 4. The reason 2 and 3 aren't in there is because they are both tied to PlayStation Vita, which obviously it's difficult to port Vita games to PC, I guess, because they didn't include them.
Not always.
Sometimes
I don't know how they would work though, like how good they would look from a port.
The only reason I kind of put in there is because Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2 were originally released on Vita, and they've just recently been ported over to PC. And
really?
Trails of Cold Steel 3 got released on PC.
Does it look good though?
Right. Okay.
I don't know. I've not looked into them. I just know that they were Vita released and then ported over.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, okay. Well, for the particular bundle I got, it didn't include them, so I'm pretty sure there's a reason why they didn't. But I played the original Valkyria Chronicles back on PlayStation 3. Didn't really get too far in it, because it was sort of a time where I wasn't really playing PlayStation 3 games a lot. I was very much a 360 guy. And then it was like towards the tail end of the PlayStation 3's game life cycle that I started playing more, and then realized I had a back catalog and never went back to play them. And unfortunately, that was one of those games. But picking up yesterday for like 16 quid and getting the 4th game with all its DLC and content in it, I thought that's not bad for getting 2 games for 16 quid. So that is currently my Steam games promotion. Next.
Pie Man, you got any?
Oh, I did write down a few. The XCOM franchise.
How many is a few?
80% off at the moment.
Ooh.
XCOM, the franchise, well, all of them.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Not all of it.
Wait,
hold
on.
But up to 80% off for a lot of them.
Oh, okay. I was like, isn't one of them from Humble Bundle as well? Wasn't it free not long ago, Humble Bundle?
Yes, it was.
May have been in their monthly pack.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got the code for that one. So I was like, wait a minute.
XCOM 2, that would have been.
I was like, we got that for free.
I'd imagine it was 2, yeah. I still need to play that game. I did one stream as well and never went back to it. Just Cause. The whole franchise.
Which one? All of them?
Discount at the moment. I was looking just at the franchises and
just the franchises
that they're doing. Just Cause is always fun, no matter which one it is. I still haven't played 4. I need to play 4. Fallout.
Is that the one with the grappling? Oh no, they all have grappling hooks, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I've seen a really funny clip of someone using the grappling hook in number 4, where it's a scene where he's on like I think it's an oil rig or like a lab, where he's literally he's killed this area. He's killed the people in the area, and unfortunately, a few scientists were killed in the crossfire. And so
it's always bad when that happens.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing when it happens. And what happened was there was a part where he took the grappling gun and he started like grappling the dude's different parts of the body, and he was kind of stretching him across different parts. So the guy had like 15 different ropes or grappling wires attached, but he was just like this, like spread out everywhere. And he was like, beautiful. Clip it, chat, and then walked on to the next bit.
Seriously,
I was
the
like-
amount of times I've seen a video of someone just running through a field being like, there's a cow, 5 rockets up the arse. And then they just stand back and go, and the cow's like, holy
It's a third-person shooter, but my god, the sandbox elements in that game is incredible.
I think I have
Cool.
got Just Cause 4, but I've never actually taken the time to play it. It's in my back catalogue. I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah.
As
It's like
all
See,
the
that
other
there,
games.
that is
Yeah.
the problem with Steam sales right there.
Yes, it
It's
is.
like you buy so many, all of them just end up on they're in the back of the line. I've got other things I want to play.
Mm-hmm.
The winter
Yep.
sale,
Yep.
I bought all of the Tomb Raider games, and I have no intention of getting around to playing all of them back to back. That's the OG
Wow.
Lara Croft with the triangle boobs up to the current.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, okay.
Right.
Wow.
Like the old
Well,
school
to be
games
fair,
were, they were like 75p a game. I was like, okay.
Oh, wow.
Why not?
I mean,
man?
Yeah.
to be fair, you can put the current one as the old school, as the original Lara Croft anyway. So
Can you?
you can.
Old time.
I think there's like a mod or something you can do it like in that style. And I was like, this looks so weird, but yet so funny. Like Dinko showed it to me, and I was like, wow, okay.
Last one on the list is the Arkham trilogy. Brilliant set of 3
Yes.
games. I
Hold
highly
up.
recommend everyone play them.
The Arkham trilogy,
Yep.
on Steam are on sale.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were free on Epic like last year, all 3 of them.
About a year ago, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, I have these.
I think
I
for the
don't-
sake of this conversation, I think whatever people are going to recommend, it's been free on Epic at some
It's
point.
been free on Epic,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. He's recommended a couple of games. I'm like, these were free on Epic last year. I picked these up. I got a steal. Agent discount.
Damn it.
What about you, Diz? Oh, sorry, Senpai. You're
No,
finished with your
just
list.
go.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah, I've got 5 games on my list. I try to do them in like different ranges of, if you're bored and want a game that only takes an hour and a half, then here's a recommendation.
Yeah.
I've got games that take anything up to like 50, 60 hours. Sorry about that. And I've got
You're
a couple
excused.
games where it's like 60 hours for as long as you can imagine. Just like those games that you'll always go back to do a couple hours if you're bored, and there's always something to do in them. So for the short game, this is a game that I played on the PS4. I played it on stream, and I went through it all in like it took me half a stream to complete it. But it's only £3.74 at the moment, which is 75% off. Takes about an hour and a half to play. Fantastic story. Firewatch. Such a nice-
I know that one. Yeah.
It's such a fantastic short play game. Like, for that cheap, you could stream it in one session. I don't think you would play it and think, I didn't enjoy that. Because you can take the story slightly in a different direction depending on the questions that you answer at the beginning. You can't change the story massively, but you learn most of the story as you go along, like doing all of these little quests. Fantastic little game. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend that.
Have I got that game?
If not, you should. Now's the time to get it. Next is a game that I played through on stream most of last year. Lance pretty much played it recently. The Deluxe edition is 75% off at $9.99. The regular edition is also 75% off and £8.74. So for £1.25, you upgrade exactly. You upgrade from a standard edition to a Deluxe edition for £1.25. So $9.99 Jurassic World Evolution. It's your perfect.
$9.99.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the
$9.99.
perfect game for people that love things like SimCity or Roller Coaster Tycoon,
Park
or,
management games.
Planet Coaster. But it's dinosaurs and they break out and they eat people. It's really fun. Like, I probably spent a good 50, 60 hours in that game, and you can go further. You can keep perfecting. You can go back to the level 1 island and just make it better with all of your new resources from level 5, and it's just
or vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. It's just highly recommend that game.
It is a fun game. I can attest to it. Like especially when you get the islands that just do not want to behave. And I'm talking like literally when you get like typhoon warnings and you try to protect your island from all manner of natural disasters, and they're like, and then they give you the warnings like, you know, what would be really good for your island. Like, what's that? A storm defense tower. If you do 100% coverage, you'll protect your island. You create the 100% coverage, and somehow your buildings still get effed. Your dinosaurs still panic and escape, and your tourists are like, "Oh, look, it's dark and it's raining. Why are we here?" You know. Then they just walk, and then only till they see a dinosaur come towards them, do they go, "Oh," and then they run.
And the fact that, like, in the game, like I know all of the park goers, the normal people, they're all just NPCs. But my God, half of them are just bloody stupid, because you'll be on level 5 and there'll be an actual tornado ripping the place to pieces. Yet there are still people just randomly walking into the park. Just like, oh, we're going to go see some dinosaurs today. It's like, there's a tornado right in front of you. Go home.
Or they just be like, yeah, by the way, we don't think your shop is good enough. The fun factor is not good. And you're like, stupid management. I don't care.
Yeah, you're offering
it's not meant to be fun.
Yeah.
You're offering people dinosaurs to look at, and they're moaning at a t-shirt in a gift shop.
Yeah.
Go look at the dinosaurs. But anyway, that's an argument for another day.
Yeah.
Next on my list is probably the worst in terms of percentage off, but it's one of my favourite open world games of all time. 35% off at the moment, £12.66 is Subnautica.
Oh,
superb. Basically, you land on an alien planet. You're by yourself. You don't know where your ship and your crew is. It's a complete water planet. You have to just learn how to survive while everything in the ocean wants to kill you. It's fantastic, and it's got a great story behind it as well.
I really still need to finish that bloody game off.
I need to install it and play it. I've got it, just never actually installed it and play it.
Lance,
I pre-ordered and got the early access for Below Zero, and I still haven't touched that yet either. And that's been out for nearly a year and a half.
I played Below Zero when it first came out, and because it's still in that early access, at that point there was only about an hour and a half of gameplay.
Yeah.
So wait, is that second part finished now? Is it done, or is it still early access?
No, it's still early access at the
It's
moment.
still early access.
Okay.
They've been adding to it, but I've not touched it since it first came out. I thought I'm just going to wait for full release now.
Cool.
But the final game on my list, which is a game that I know for a fact all of you have played, I highly recommend this to anyone in the chat that's listening. It's 40% off at the moment, £6.59. Obviously in dollars, that's probably, I don't know, $7.50, $8. I've put about 200 hours into this game, I think, roughly, and I think you guys have probably done the same. Stardew Valley.
Yeah. I've put close to 300 hours in that game, sir.
Yeah, there you go. Like, already, hands down, alone, my favourite game soundtrack of all time. And that's not even touching the game.
Mm-hmm.
And your favourite thing is butts.
Yes, your favourite thing is butts.
So Stardew Valley, can't recommend that anymore. I love, like, now that it's multiplayer as well, you know, you can run into each other's house and steal each other's
steal the TVs.
Hey, I needed a multi-screen setup in my house.
Why?
So we can watch it in dual view.
To watch the weather on 2 channels?
Yes.
Well, watch the weather on one,
just to see if we
and
get
then watch
Watch it on one
South.
channel. Oh, mate, check the other TV, see if the weather report's different.
It could have been. It could have been. That TV had satellite. It was overseas channels. I wanted to see what other people's weather was like. But yeah, that's my list of recommendations. Honestly, I stand by all of those games. I've played them all, love them all to bits. They're all on sale at the moment. Can't say any more about that. But
Stardew Valley.
I've literally just been going through my list and making sure as to what's on sale or not and what I'd actually recommend.
Do his homework.
No, I didn't.
You've just been going through Steam, right?
No. I've actually been going through my library to see what I can actually recommend because I've played it, you know.
Okay.
Just to make sure. So, first off, is a few years old, but recently got a remaster, and I only kicked it off again the other night and fell straight back in love with it, and that is Burnout Paradise.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's old.
They did a remaster of it just recently. I think it was last year that they released it, or it might have been a few months back. But I absolutely loved the game back in like 2012, something like that, when they originally released it for the PS3 and the 360. Absolutely adored it and loved the kind of sequel that they released to it, which was the secondary Need for Speed Most Wanted, that played pretty much exactly like Burnout Paradise, but was just Need for Speed instead, because it was still Criterion. It was the exact same team, and I absolutely love that as well. But it's on sale at the moment for the Paradise Remastered at 75% off for £4.49. You cannot go wrong with that. It's got all the DLC, including Big Surfers Island as well, which was a whole separate island for a completely different area of driving, new races, new cars, new absolutely everything. And I absolutely love the game.
I think I might have to pick that up because I've only played it on the PS3.
So, you know, I have the complete edition, which I bought many, many years ago, and I've completed that twice already. And I'm probably going to end up playing this and completing this as well. That is how much I absolutely adore this game. I'm going through, doing absolutely every race, and finding all the cars, all the gates, all the billboards, all the super jumps, absolutely everything. I just love the open exploration and just being able to do whatever you want at your own pace. It's fantastic.
I'm going to have to pick that up. Sold!
I will send you the link after,
you got a
after
customer.
Recording then.
Nice.
Get that affiliate link.
Well, Steam, if you want to give me affiliate, fine by me. Secondary would be a game that myself and Lance have just recently completed, and that would be Divinity Original Sin 2. Which is actually 250% off. It
only took us a year and a half to do, but yes.
To be fair, though, we were doing only like 2 hours a week. It took us like 105 hours total to complete it. Yeah, exactly.
And that's with multiple resets per session.
But that's a lot of gameplay for completing the story.
It really is.
That's excellent.
It took us a while. Granted, half hour here and there each week was probably us just standing around selling stuff, making sure we've got our gear upgraded and everything else. But that's fine. That's what you get when you get a party RPG like that. You've got to make sure everyone's up to spec. But it's on sale at the moment, 50% off at £15, and I would happily play that through again with anyone else that wanted to give it a try. It's a lot of hours, but well worth going through the story, seeing what happens, and making your own builds of characters and seeing how everything plays.
Diz
has me very, very excited for Baldur's Gate 3.
When's that coming out?
Early access should be August.
Awesome.
And apparently the early access content will be, I think they said double the size of the early access content for Divinity Original Sin 2. So I'm really hoping for a lot of content with that.
Yeah.
And it plays exactly like Dungeons and Dragons with dice rolls all over the place as to what you want to do.
Okay. Now you've piqued my interest.
Dude, I could.
I'm a D&D boy, man.
I could quite happily send you a video later on of like an hour's worth of gameplay from the very start of the game. And you can literally watch the combat of all the dice rolls for initiative, attacks, chances of attacks, the amount of damage that you do, whether you can sneak past someone. You can literally see the dice rolls working, and it is really, really well done.
Yeah, send me that video.
All right, we'll
I
do.
want to see that. Don't have to do it right now.
Yeah, of course not. I'll do it afterwards. And then my third recommendation would be a game that released. When was it? I think probably about a year ago now, maybe a year and a half, maybe slightly longer. I'm not too sure, but it was Civilization 6. It's going to be one that myself, Senpai, and hopefully Lance can get to try in. Hopefully Monday on stream. and getting to learn to play that with, I'm hoping, a couple of other friends within TC as well. But essentially, it's a 4X game. So it's Diz, if you want in, I'm happy to help you. I really am.
I got it free when it was on Epic.
It's free now. Yeah.
So no one has an excuse to not have it. But essentially, it's a 4X game. So it's a top-down view grid game. And as mentioned to you earlier, you start off with a civilization. So it could be Britain, it could be Japan, it could be America for some strange reason. Could be Greece. It could be any major civilization like that. But you start off with one city. You build up that city with religion, culture, science, war units and everything. You expand, and you essentially have to make your way to the latest levels of technology and try to get a win over your opponents, whether that is by complete dominance and conquering them all, whether it be completing the Manhattan Project first and getting men into space first, whether it be a culture win where your culture obliterates everyone. Well, not obliterates, but everyone has your culture. Could be everyone has your religion. It could be anything like that. So there are many, many ways to win. I think there's like 7 or 8 different ways of victory. But it is really, really open in the way that it plays. It takes time. I've easily put in over 100 hours for one game alone. But you really get that just one more turn feeling from it, because you just want to carry on and see what you can do on the next turn.
Oh no.
Yes.
So are we all going to be doing rock, paper, scissors to see who gets to start as Japan?
I'm out of that one. I don't like... Well, I like to play
is that
Japan.
a bad country to start as?
No. They are a good country. It's just that they're not my favourite to start. So...
Okay, called it.
There you go. Then he's got Japan for Monday. But that is another one of my recommendations.
Remember, I won't be here for the Monday one because of what I've already got planned. But
I wasn't too sure if your Borderlands 3 stream was just going to be for like
did
the
I not
afternoon or something.
confirm it with you the other day? No, sorry, yeah. I won't be able to join for the Civ one for a while because I'll be doing Borderlands 3 with Dinko. We're going to be smashing through the DLC.
Oh, okay.
Which will probably be a problem because the last time we ran it, we got a load of so as you know, Borderlands 3, they give you unique legendary weapons.
Mm-hmm.
The last DLC we ran, it was non-stop legendaries popping, and I was like, wait, Dinko, we need to stop because my backpack's full. I need to go sell it, and there's new stuff here, and I need to know I don't have this one or this is better than the other one. And it took a while. It took us a while. I ended up walking away with at least 50 million, and then spending it on vault space because there was more stuff I was getting that was upgraded or better than. And I was like, oh, hang on, need to go back, need to put this in the vault. Give me a second. And it took us a while, but it's fun though. It's Borderlands 3. It's always fun. The new DLC I think dropped to this week, today, tomorrow, yesterday. No, it's this week. I can't remember when though. Yeah.
So going back to Civ 6, did you say how much it was?
It's actually on sale for 75% off at £12.49.
Or free on Epic.
It was also free on Epic. Yes.
Isn't it still free on Epic?
No.
Or is it new games?
No, they change every 2 weeks.
Every week.
Was it 2 weeks?
It was their version.
Wait, wasn't it supposed to be their game of the month?
Giving away, it was the same time they were giving away GTA, so they had it every 2 weeks or every week
Senpai
and a
just
half.
cut out for me.
They were giving,
your sound's cutting out.
Sorry, I don't know why. Every 2 weeks, every week and a half, they were giving away a different game. And Civ 6 was one of those. It was just after GTA.
Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, it's on Steam at the moment for 75% off at £12.49. If for some reason Steam's still listing it at the full price of £50, but £12.50, you can't knock it for such a game that Civ 5 I've put in, I think, near 300 hours into on its own.
Right.
So I absolutely love the games.
Cool.
Well, I look forward to starting it then.
To be fair, those are some good choices I think we've recommended for everyone.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Some a good variation of genre and choices.
Yeah, talking about the Epic giving away free stuff, the Epic store. I still remember when I wanted to check out the sale, and I didn't realise that was day one of GTA 5 being free.
Oh.
I opened up the Epic store.
The day the internet broke.
It was just nothing happened. It didn't open. My computer just looked at me like, do you want me to do something?
Or you click on store. It takes about five minutes or so, and then suddenly your entire system language has gone into Lithuanian or something.
See, that's the thing, right? I was just about to bring that up because I mentioned it when it happened, and Tech and Fug said it happened to them as well. But I double clicked on it about 5 minutes later, and the store opened up, and everything was in Spanish. And I panicked, and I just shouted, "I've been hacked!"
It happened to Phoenix.
And I just shut everything off.
What, for
I
the
think
GTA
mine was
thing?
something like Polish.
Yeah, Phoenix
See, I got
changed
Spanish.
to Russian.
Mine was in English straight out. So
Yeah, and
Really?
Mine was in English.
yeah, well, look at that. We were fine.
Right? I was just so afraid that everyone was stealing my information. I just shut my PC off.
He thought some Spaniard had got into his PC.
Yeah.
He's like Juan more.
There were some good memes on Twitter during that.
So that was basically all of the Steam recommendations. So everyone that's listening, go check out the Steam sale. Not sure when it's until, if one of you guys wants to check that out. It's normally a couple weeks?
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't it normally like 2 weeks, 3 weeks long?
And this is the first run of it as well.
Up until July 9th.
July.
July,
Well, okay,
right.
so that's still a couple of weeks. That's still a pretty lengthy period of time.
And more things
2
will
weeks.
be added to it.
I was about to say, they probably will add more stuff, right? So, check every day. God, I have to make sure I have money for this. This is bad.
Yeah, and me. Especially considering I just recently got a credit card. Joy!
Well, we already know where that's dedicated. Like Chuck has his allocated with GameStop, yours is PS5.
Look, if I'm
Side
going to
by
make any
side.
bad choices, okay, it's going to be getting it's going to be getting an Oculus, okay? That's going to be my bad choice.
Bad choice.
Yeah, that's a bad choice, dude. Like PS5, Oculus. Right.
All right, Lance, should we take it over to you? You got a little something for us today?
A little something,
Yeah,
something.
sure. Little something for everyone.
Little
All right, so
sign.
as some of you are probably aware, Last of Us 2 was released last Friday. Big release for the PlayStation 4 PlayStation 4. Obviously, one of the biggest exclusives in that franchise to come out. Now, as good as the first one is and that everyone loved, second one came out, got hit with a little bit of bad, I won't say not say bad press, but controversy. Is that the right term to really put it?
Yeah,
It's more like
it did get hit with controversy.
Okay, controversy, we'll go with that then. So essentially what happened was the game came out and it got given 10 out of 10 by like a myriad of places that reviewed the game. But the thing was, they openly then admitted later, after everyone had given their 10 out of 10 scores, and the public came back and just backlashed against these scores. They were like, this can't be the 10 out of 10 score for this game. They were like, oh, to be fair, we based our review on the first, I think it's like the first
Couple of hours.
4 hours of the game.
Yeah.
Something. It's a small amount of hours on the game they based off playtime. Now, what I wanted to bring up was, for this segment, what games do you believe are worthy of the 10 out of 10 score? I have a list from I have IGN's 15 top games they rated for 10 out of 10, and I was thinking that we go through them, and if you give your opinion, if you think this is a 10 out of 10 game, if it's worthy of such a criteria. Now, obviously, 10 out of 10 doesn't mean the game is perfect. Let's make that abundantly clear. 10 out of 10 just means it's hit criteria of what most people or gamers are looking for. You know, it fulfills a certain amount of things that people look when getting games. Now, with Last of Us 2, I've not played it, but I've seen streamers play it from beginning to end, and I honestly believe it doesn't deserve a 10 out of 10. Like, hand up here, like, it's not worthy of a 10 out of 10. Visually stunning, story's a bit, could have been better, but obviously with what the leaks that had come out earlier this year, I kind of knew because someone told me, and I wasn't too fussed with spoilers because I knew I wasn't going to play it. But obviously, for anyone listening, I'm not going to say spoilers. But from how that story went from beginning to end and all the big points that they were trying to get across, I was a little bit disappointed in the route they took and how the game ended. So it wasn't how I envisioned it. But then I've also just recently discovered that there is a plan for them to make a third one, which I'm a little bit like, how do you follow on from what you just did with number 2 into number 3? I'm pretty sure there'll be people much smarter than I am at storytelling in this type of game, but it's one of those things where it's kind of hard to see where you could potentially do a third one.
Well, you could say the same about a lot of different TV shows that end with each series. It's like with say for example, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix. You would not.
I haven't seen that yet, but
you highly recommend it. You would not think that going from season 1 that you would then get season 2, because it doesn't really link into the first part of season 1 at all.
Oh, really?
Season 2 then does lead into season 3, but then at the same time, it's like, well, does it really need it?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you're trying to say. Okay, right.
So I've recently started rewatching Buffy. And the way that season 1 ends does in no way lead into season 2.
Yeah,
is as if like Joss Whedon wrote it as like, we'll do 1 season and see how it goes, and then
if we get picked up again,
build on that. Yeah.
That's fair enough. I can understand that, but going back to Last of Us 2, with everything that's happened with it in terms of the score and the storytelling and what I'd seen and so forth, and what I'd read about people not being too thrilled with the direction it took, it was one of those things where I was questioning how a game that succeeded such a brilliant first one got to where it is now. Because I do know that it was initially designed that Last of Us 1 was meant to be a standalone game. And then due to the popularity and people were kind of hankering, and then obviously maybe like pressure from up high at Sony, whoever, they were like, we need you to make a second one type situation.
The cult following,
Yeah. Cool.
Well, then really, does anyone have any right to moan about it? Like they all clamored for a second, and PlayStation gave them a second.
That's true. Exactly. They did. This is the thing. So like they technically got what they wanted, but at the same time they didn't get what they wanted type situation. So obviously,
I don't think anyone gets what they want.
Yeah, like no game's ever going to meets every game's criteria, But and I understand that, but it was one of the things for what people were expecting of Last of Us 2 plus the leaks and everything. It was kind of like, okay, I can see why people were wary of 2, but the scores that they gave for the reviews are like the strangest things I've ever seen. Like the fact that it was getting such high scores didn't make any sense to me, because there was so much that I saw that didn't warrant it getting that. Like 10s, I mean, sure, your first one, guarantee I would give it a 10. Number 2, I'd probably give it like a 6 at best. Yeah, that's personally from what I'd seen and from streams and so forth. I personally would say it's worthy of like a 6, maybe a 6.5 if we're doing that type of scaling.
So I think with The Last of Us 2, now obviously I've not played it. I never finished the first Last of Us. I have intentions to, but I've just not managed to get around to it. So I don't even know how the first one ends. I don't know how it leads into 2 or whatever. All I know is that every time I have ever seen anyone complain about The Last of Us 2, guarantee the fact that Ellie is gay always comes up as a problem for people. And I have no idea.
Yeah, so
why.
Yeah, in this one they've made it gay, which I don't see what the problem is there.
Because people. That's
this is what is bugging me the most. Like, I can understand if people have issues with the game itself and the story, I can see why people may have issues with that. But why would you have issues where a fictional character is gay? And one of the stupidest arguments that I have ever seen for that in its purpose is, well, no, but the stupidest argument I've ever seen for it is they were saying, you are in an apocalypse or post-apocalyptic world. Why the hell would you be gay?
What?
What? Hang on,
dude,
what?
That's got nothing to do with it.
In a post-apocalyptic world, you still cannot help if you are gay. If you are gay, you are gay. It is not a choice.
Well, it's just me and the cockroaches now, so I guess I like them.
Oh, wow.
But I've changed my preference.
This is the level of stupidity that a lot of people are arguing around the IC, because absolutely every time that I see someone argue about the scoring of The Last of Us 2, that is always a concern for people, and I don't get why.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense. So it's a weird thing for people to get angry over.
It's because of that it's pushing me to support the reviewers in saying that, well, maybe it should be a 10 out of 10, because they're not going to care if Ellie's gay or not. Especially if it's only like causing for concern in one particular plot point and doesn't affect the larger, the bigger picture of the story. It's not really going to have that much of an effect. But why are these people arguing about it? Bigots. So
yeah.
That's my argument about The Last of Us. I won't argue it because I can't. I've not played it. So
yeah, but you're just going off obviously what you've seen,
yeah, exactly.
and what's been brought up and so forth. But yeah, okay. Back to the list that IGN have created, and I'm just gonna. It's 15 games. We're gonna just quickly go through them, and then we'll just do like a quick Why do you think? Do you think it's worthy of a 10 out of 10? If not, what would you give it, and so forth? Okay. If you've played it, or if not, if what you've heard from it. Because I'm pretty sure. Go on, sorry.
Just before we start this, if I may, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire deserved a 10 out of 10.
I don't know what they got. What did they get?
By far did not have too much water. It f***ing deserved that 10 out of 10. That was how the original games were. It did not have too much water.
Did the critics not like there being enough?
Yes,
there was too much water Pokemon.
They literally marked it 8 out of 10, and then said that one of the cons was too much water.
Oh my god! Who rated this one?
I don't know. It was IGN. I know that much. I don't know who.
Oh, okay.
Who from IGN?
Hey, this must have been like a while back. All right, the list.
IGN.
Okay, the list according to IGN's top 15 games given 10 out of 10 scores. Number 15, The Legend of Zelda: The Skyward Sword. Do we believe it was worthy of a 10 out of 10?
Didn't play it.
Honestly, I've never played it, but I recently watched someone stream all the way through it, and it looks fantastic. I really enjoyed the gameplay. But yeah, I've not played it myself, so I can't give it an honest opinion.
Okay, Tex, have you played it?
What game was it? Sorry, I was reading chat.
Skyward Sword.
Say again?
Skyward Sword.
Oh, dude, I love that game.
Yeah. Do you think, as a person who's played it, do you think it was worthy of the 10 out of 10 score?
No. Purely for the fact that I would be comparing it against Twilight Princess. Now, admittedly, the controls were a lot better. And the graphics were a lot better. However, I don't think the story played as nicely. Twilight Princess had a large impact on me as a mid-teenager. Skyward Sword didn't sit as well with me on the story. It didn't play as well as Twilight Princess. So I'm always going to end up comparing those two because they were the only Zelda games on that system. So I don't think it runs as well. So therefore, I don't think it deserves the 10 out of 10 in my opinion. But
that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Okay, when it came out, I played Twilight Princess. I dabbled on Skyward Sword, but never really got to finish it because I think I got to a part where I just got infuriated playing it, and then I stopped. But I thought at the time it looked very visually impressive for a Wii game. But all Zelda games always tend to look good. Like from the Wii on, they've always looked visually very impressive. I think maybe at some point doing it when I was playing with it on playing on the Wii with it, I thought it was. There was some part of the control I felt like it just didn't feel natural playing, and I got annoyed with it. So it's probably one of the reasons why I stopped playing it. But was it worthy out of 10 out of 10? From what I played, no. Did it deserve a high score? It did, but I can't say it was probably. I probably would have given it like a 7 at that point, maybe an 8. Because I remember at the time when it was coming out, I think Modern Warfare 3 was coming out at the same time, and I was in central London talking to some people from Game, and I think they were doing demos for Skyward Sword at the time when it was out. And I was talking to the rep and so forth. And I jokingly said that I would rather play Skyward Sword than another Call of Duty. And I told him, hey, you can take this as a quote. F Call of Duty, jump on the Skyward Sword. And he went, can I use that as a quote? I'm going to do it. I knew it never made it into any PR thing, but it was just the fact that at that point, I think so many people had gotten tired of Call of Duty games being the year of release that they were. That the fact that there was a Zelda game coming out, that there'd been 2 Zelda games on the Wii by this point, and people were like, Skyward Sword looks amazing from what everything's seen, and the small demos that they were doing in games, and the other game shops that were around or stores that would allow to do demos, it was like proving that people were enjoying it. But then I think obviously once it was released, the scores were a little bit different depending on the player. So I mean, from what I played and how much I played it, I would have given it, if I was to rank it, say like a 7. That's how much I enjoyed for what I played. Yeah. When I got to that bit where it stopped me from playing, I was like, all right, I'm done. Go do something else now, you know. All right, Senpai, you said you didn't play it, right?
I haven't played that one, no.
No, okay. All right. Number 14 on the list is Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception.
Nope.
Never finished it.
No?
I've never been a fan, to be honest. It's basically just another Tomb Raider, and I've never really been a fan of those games.
But Drake is so beautiful.
See, I really enjoyed Uncharted 2. Like, really, really enjoyed that. But
a lot
of
people
managed
liked
to finish
Uncharted
3.
Yeah, a lot of people enjoyed Uncharted 2. I think there's that bit at the end of Uncharted 2 where they what was it again? There's that massive like killing part where you just see hordes of enemies come far, and Drake just kills tons of people at the end. I think that's in number 2 because I remember someone was telling me about it, and I was watching the scene like, where is this in Uncharted 3? And they were like, no, this is in 2. There's a part where I think it's a broken down plane in the desert, and you've just got
No, that's Uncharted 3.
Oh, is that 3? Oh,
Yes.
It was 3 then. Okay. So someone was telling me just essentially it's like Drake massacring this tribe of enemies that are coming towards him. He just sits there with his pistol shooting everyone. And it's like unlimited ammo style thing. And everyone's like, this is just ridiculous. Why is this bit not ending? But from the Uncharted series, from what I saw, I always thought they were really good. I sort of like played a bit of 1, played a bit of 2, dabbled on 3. But from what I played and enjoyed, they were good. I just never finished them. But 3, I know IGN loved the Uncharted series when it was out. I think it was, what was his name? Greg Miller was a huge, he was a champion for it along with him, and I think Colin Moriarty at the time. Mm-hmm. They were both champion for Uncharted. They loved the franchise. Greg Miller was a huge fan of Nolan North, who obviously does the voice for Nathan Drake and that. But it was one of the games where I could see why this would be a huge thing for PlayStation, because obviously being exclusive as it was, they were like, this is a great game and a great trilogy for them to have and claim as their own. Now, obviously, everyone had their own ups and downs with the games per se. I enjoyed it. I could see where people had issues with it, but then my thing was I never finished it. I can see why they would have at the time given it a 10 out of 10, because I do not know of anything else in terms of a trilogy with a story as good as that could have competed against it. So that I can understand why they're giving it on a story point of view, but in terms of a technical aspect, I'm not sure where it flawed at. I don't know about you guys if you played it or heard anything on it.
I didn't play it. Is that the one that you play Crash Bandicoot halfway through it?
So
play Crash Bandicoot on.
There's
Senpai?
Is it part of Uncharted 3? You played Crash Bandicoot halfway through it?
I don't know.
I don't think I ever got that far, if it did.
Yeah, I don't think I got that far either, I don't think, because I don't remember that.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
I'm sure it's like a flashback or something. Sorry, spoilers. It's just what I've seen. There's a flashback, and he's laying on the sofa, and he turns on his PlayStation and plays Crash Bandicoot for a bit. But you actually play Crash Bandicoot.
That might be Uncharted 4, because a lot of the promotional screenshots I've seen has had Drake sitting on the sofa with his partner with a PlayStation controller in hand. So I imagine that's Uncharted 4.
Okay.
But as for me, with Uncharted 3, the story just never gripped me as much as it did with number 2, so that's why I never finished it. And there's probably other games that came out at the time, so I ended up just moving over onto them.
No, fair enough. Okay, next one is, I don't know when this came out, but I'm pretty sure this is recent. For some reason, it's Half-Life Alyx? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
That's been out for
wasn't that
about
recent?
4 months?
Yeah,
Very
this is a
recent.
10 out of 10 according to IGN. Yeah. According to IGN, they gave this a 10 out of 10. I only knew of it recently. I didn't realize it was out in such a short period of time.
It's
but
all
apparently they
those
gave this a 10
Half-Life
out of 10.
fanboys who think that Alyx is 3, and they're going to give it a 10 out of 10.
Is that what it was? So what exactly was the Half-Life Alyx? Because I actually have no idea what it was.
Half-Life
I've known
Alyx,
of the Half-Life franchise for a while, but this was new to me.
Half-Life Alyx, I believe, is a
index-selling game.
prequel to 2.
Oh, okay.
Imagine it kind of like a 1.5, I think is how the timeline works with it. But it is full VR.
Yeah.
And is running, I think it's the Boneworks tech, with all of their kind of, what?
No, keep going, it's fine.
Yeah, I think, let's say, for example, it's a whole new body physics with being able to shoot enemies, and they kind of ragdoll properly. You've got water bottles with like decent water physics in there and everything. So that I think will play a lot into it. I don't know again where the story fits in. I've never played any of the Half-Life games, so Senpai can shut up laughing at me. As for a 10 out of 10, I can't say for certain. No PC VR for me. I can't confirm. So.
Was it only VR?
Is it? I was about to say, is it only VR?
And it's only index.
Oh, okay. Which is kind of weird then, because then it just restricts, like literally down to a very, 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 very small audience.
The thing is, though, that it is getting a lot of modding support to the point that they have enabled modding to allow it to run on other headsets.
Oh, okay.
And on plain desktop mode. Don't know how.
Okay.
But they are working
They
on that
found
at
a
the
way.
moment and are releasing it in parts.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. So obviously, Diz, I'm guessing you've not played it.
No.
Have you played any of the Half-Life games?
No.
No? Senpai?
I don't want any PC boys hating me. I've never played them.
I never played them either, but I did pick up all of the Half-Lives and all of the Portals in Steam's Winter Sale, and I played a little bit of Portal 1. But no, I've never really played Half-Life.
Okay, so from what you guys have heard about this, do you think it was worthy of a 10 out of 10?
Sure.
I mean,
I've seen
it's a
some
VR game and I
people
love
play
VR.
it. I've seen some people play it, and it has looked good, but from the hour I spent in somebody's stream, I couldn't say that it was a 10 out of 10 game.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, number 12 on the list is Super Mario Galaxy 2. Do we think this was worthy of a 10 out of 10?
Never played it.
That one.
Okay,
No.
I've got to be perfectly honest. I've played Super Mario Galaxy. I never realised there was a second one. I think it's just been erased from my memory.
What did that come out on Lance?
That came out on. Let's have a look.
Would have been the
it's released on the
or
Wii.
the Wii U.
It was the Wii.
I never had a Wii.
Yeah.
Didn't have a Wii, didn't have a Wii U.
Yeah, I played the first one and I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it was a 10 out of 10 game if this is on that list, but so I just never played the second one. I never had any interest in it or anything. So I'm not big on Mario games.
Oh, that's fair enough. According to IGN, one of the main things that people loved about this game was the addition of many new power-ups and the ability of players to ride around on Yoshi. That was one of the big things.
It's always a good element.
So every Mario game.
Apart from Galaxy 1.
Again, from Galaxy 1,
apart
Yoshi
from
wasn't
that,
in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I technically didn't play it, but I'd seen gameplay of it, and it looked good. It just was, at the time, it wasn't the type of game that I was after on my Wii. Well, it wasn't a game I really looked for on my Wii. At the time, I only had like a few, but then at the same time, I was kind of looking to get games that came out from Japan for my Wii U, only to realize that they were region locked, and I was like, why are we still region locking games? All right. Let's see. Next one. Number 11 on the list. Last of Us 1. 10 out of 10. According to IGN. Do we agree with that for those who have played it?
Mine is still in the plastic, but it's a very pretty box.
I when I used to stream on YouTube, I did like a couple of 4-hour sessions on it. Never finished it, but I wouldn't say it was 10 out of 10 from what I played.
So how far did you get? So obviously the spoiler territory for anyone who's not played Last of Us 1 yet.
Yeah, I've not
I think I actually ended up rage quitting because I got stuck in a sports hall or something. That's my last memory of it. I got stuck in a sports hall with no ammo and a useless companion, and I couldn't kill I think it was a bloater. It's a big thing with like 6 arms, exploded every now
I have a name.
Just has a name.
Never finished it. But what I played of it, I did enjoy, but I wouldn't say it was 10 out of 10.
Yeah. See, do I have it on PlayStation? I don't think I have it on PlayStation unless they did that digital version and I missed out on it. But I never played it, but I watched enough streams to know how that game went from beginning to end. And I could see why people enjoyed this game and why some people would give it a 10 out of 10. Like, the story for me was, like, with most games like this, story is always important for me. So for this story, I could see, like, the curve and the arc and growth and the closeness between Ellie and Joel and how it got to where it was. And I liked how it ended with how things went down in that story. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil it if no one's actually played Last of Us 1 yet, who completed it. But how it ended, I was like, I like how this was going. I like how it ended. And I could have been happy with the fact they left it as a standalone game. And it would have been like, okay, as a standalone game, sure, 10 out of 10. But obviously, with everything that's happened recently with The Last of Us 2, it kind of sullies that a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's like, you had something great with number 1. And there may have been some faults, yes. I'm not saying there is no one game that's perfect. There are some faults in every game. Somebody will find something to pick about it. But this one stood up in terms of, like, it had a lot going for it. Your sequel, however, it kind of brings it down because it's no longer such a unique thing because of what's happened. It's like, oh, you've kind of tarnished it a little bit now. It's like you've missed out on certain things with 1, but that don't make sense for number 2 type situation.
I can see that. Now, I never finished as I mentioned earlier, I never finished the first one. Still fully intend to. Never even made it all that far. I made it a couple of hours in. And it's not so much that I wasn't interested in the story or anything else like that. It was just that at the time, other games released that I wanted to play. It's always the way for me that I get really, really involved with story games, and then something new and shiny comes along and I drop it.
Yeah.
And then it comes to the point where, oh wait, I was meant to finish that. Where did I get up to on the story?
This is why I classify myself as a variety streamer, because my attention span has not got enough time or CPU power to actually stream a whole game beginning to end, because something else will come
that's
up.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's the thing of the game industry, isn't it? Like the way they incrementally release games. It's like you've literally be like, oh, this game's out this week. I have literally this week to finish it from beginning to end before something new comes out.
Yeah.
And I've got to jump onto that because it's piqued my interest.
But the problem with that is you work to buy games so that you can play games, but then you don't have enough time to play games because you work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
there's always that.
If you could play games purely, fine, I'd have enough time. Maybe. But I can't do that because I've got to go to work to buy more games. That being my issue.
Play games at work. Problem solved.
All that. Problem solved.
Happy Wheels.
Like I used to.
No story on that.
How you used to. Cool. All right, so that was The Last of Us 1. That was number 11 on the list. Now we're hitting number 10. We're in the top 10.
Do we want to kind of speed it up if we can, considering time?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Red Dead Redemption 2. 10 out of 10. Do we think so by Rockstar?
8 out of 10.
I bought the deluxe edition not last Christmas, Christmas before, and I've played about an hour.
I'm going to give it a pure 10 out of 10. Otherwise, Dinko will never talk to me again. But
I really, really enjoyed, but I did not get enough into the story to judge it, basically.
For me, for once, it wasn't actually the story that put me off it. Or no, sorry, not put me off it, but I got involved in the story, but it was the fact of how open the world is and how much you could do. I honestly felt like, I'm not going to have enough time to actually do anything with this game properly, or enough time to actually enjoy it, so I'm going to have to move on to something else.
Fair enough.
So I dropped it.
Right. Number 9, God of War.
Nope.
Yes.
Now, it's not stated which God of War. It just says God of War.
I'm assuming the latest one.
I'm assuming it's the latest one. Yeah, it says it's the latest one according to this. Now, I can understand why a lot of people would like this game and highly rate it. I got it on PlayStation 4 due to the last recent sale they had. Not played it, but I watched Tex play it and I watched a few others play it. It is a visually beautiful looking game. It looks great. Boy is now become my favorite word in that game. That is enough to warrant me to give it a 9 out of 10. But I don't know if it's worthy of a 10 out of 10. But it is a visually and very stunning looking game. And I think, Tex, you finished it, right?
Yes, I did. I actually ran that one through every Wednesday, start to finish.
I saw you rage on it quite a few times.
Oh my god, those Valkyrie fights blew my goddamn controller at my hand.
Aren't they like the hardest part of the game, the Valkyrie fights?
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
But such well done fights.
Yeah.
To make it so difficult that even when you are spec'd up to the highest spec that you can get, to still find them hard because of the tactics that you have to employ is phenomenal. Story was brilliant, graphics were amazing. I honestly do think it was a 10 out of 10. It's purely for the story, in all honesty. I absolutely loved it, and I can't wait for another one.
Cool. All right, number 8. I've only heard about this game recently. It's called Celeste. I'm hoping I pronounced this correctly. So this is on there as a 10 out of 10 game, but I have not seen anything on it, so I do not know anything about this game. But apparently they've given it a 10 out of 10. You guys know anything about it? Seen any gameplay on it?
Never heard of it.
I picked it up in that itch.io Black Lives Matter kind of bundle that they were doing, where you spent I think it was $5 minimum and picked up 1,500 odd games total. So I went and got that, picked that up. I haven't played it. I haven't even installed it yet because there was no Steam codes or anything else like that. It is purely just installers. I haven't played it yet. As far as my knowledge goes, it's a 2D platformer game, which I'm not normally keen on, but I do want to try it because of how much good reviews I've noted of it. So I do want to give it a try, but I don't normally get on with 2D platformers, so I can't say for certain.
Okay. Right. Number 7 on the list. Super Mario Odyssey.
Loved it. Planning on doing a stream of that soon.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do the entire game in just your boxer shorts. I'm in.
Wait, hold on. Rephrase it. You can do the entire game in just boxer shorts.
Wait, you can or Mario?
Oh no, both. I played it in just my boxers and a top hat, but Mario
you were
was in boxers and a top hat.
Yeah?
Oh, okay.
You don't want me to stream it in my boxers and a top hat?
Okay.
Okay.
Because what I heard Diz say was, you could stream. He goes, "This is a great game for you to stream in my boxer shorts." I'm like, wait a minute,
Dude,
are you going to have your boxer shorts to me, Diz?
Look, if any of you guys need a pair of boxers,
that's what Lance is wiping his head with right now.
Yeah,
I'm the hooker.
I mean, goddamn Diz.
Although you don't want any of the ones from this week because my God's been hard.
God damn.
And you also don't want the rag to his left either.
Oh, okay. So, Senpai, Diz, you both agree this game would be worthy of a 10 out of 10 score? Or high, or close enough to a 10 out of 10 score?
Close enough. A high 9 point something.
Okay.
It was a very open world kind of Mario game, something that you had not really seen to that extent before.
Yeah.
And the fact that it had all things like collectibles all over the map, like there's a level where you're in a city and you have to literally like run up buildings to find like odd collectibles, and you can go into like one building and you're a jazz singer, and you go into another building like I said, you're just in your top hat and a pair of boxers, which was most of the game. But absolutely loved it. I would say that's worthy of a 10 out of 10.
My only qualifier for that is the last Mario game that I had actually properly played was Mario 64, so I went from that to Odyssey. So
so you did like a huge like generational jump on Mario. Yeah. Oh, that's fair enough. Tex, did you play it by any chance? Or?
I did. I actually completed it. It was one of the first Switch games I completed, and I did really, really enjoy it, but I wouldn't put it as a 10 out of 10.
Okay, that's fair enough.
In my opinion, each world could have been that slightly bit more filled out and a bit bigger, rather than just relying on purely the collectibles. Now, I enjoy getting collectibles a lot, but I think they could have been a bit more filled out with either NPCs, maybe some more side quests, some extra things to do kind of thing, rather than just relying on the collectibles.
Cool. Okay. That's fair enough. All right. Next is number 6, which is Undertale. Now, I know Diz is a huge fan of this. Diz, do you reckon Undertale is worthy of a 10 of 10?
For how strange the game is in terms of you boot it up and you feel like you're playing a game from the 1980s. And anything from just the design to the music. The best thing about it, hands down, is the story.
Yep.
Is that the game where Megalovania comes from?
I think it is.
Yeah. The fact that there's 3 different endings as well, which gives you that option of going back to play it. And the reason why you have to literally go back to play it is because it all depends on how you start the game.
Oh.
So if you, like, you're given an option with someone standing in front of you. If you choose yes, it takes you in one direction. If you choose no, it takes you in a different direction. If you choose no, but then decide later to choose yes, it takes you in the third direction. It's
interesting.
It's such a good game.
That's
such a good game.
I remember watching Diz play it
10 out of 10
when he was streaming it, and I was really intrigued by it because I was more interested in watching like Diz's reaction to it. The story was good, but yeah, just watching Diz try to like choose his path through it was really, really good. It was like it's in class as an indie game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. For a game as designed as it was, I really enjoyed it. It was definitely a game that I thought was very good. All right, Senpai, Tex, you guys played it. Your opinions on it? If you have?
It would actually be very interested in playing it because it's popped up in my sort of like little echo chamber a lot recently.
Nice.
Definitely would be interested in picking that up.
Nice,
I've not played it, but my eldest has, and he absolutely adores it. So I should probably give it a shot at some point, if not just to have something to talk to him about.
Cool. Right. Number 5, Zelda Breath of the Wild. 10 out of 10.
Yes.
I think we pretty much can agree this would be worthy of a 10 of 10 score unanimously, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
Next
All right,
game's
moving
just
on.
perfect.
That's to discuss. Okay. Next is a game I've never heard of. It's number 4 on the list. It's called Inside. I've never heard of this before.
Inside
it
is good.
That's an
Oh, you
indie
have?
game,
Okay.
isn't it?
It is.
Is-
I think it's done by the same people that did what was
Limbo.
that one? Yes,
Yeah,
Limbo.
it says
Yeah,
it's with Limbo.
I've played Limbo, not played Inside.
same.
Inside, I've watched Let's Play do an entire run of it. I haven't played it myself,
Yeah.
but what I watched them do, loved it. Loved every minute of it.
Worthy of a 10 of 10 score, though. Or-
I can't
Couldn't
judge.
say that having not played it myself, but it looked very fun.
Okay. Awesome.
I
Right, number
definitely,
3 is...
I'd definitely say it was a high 9.
Okay, so it's up there, but not quite literally on the 10. Text yourself. So I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
that's fine. I haven't played it. I've played a bit of Limbo. I didn't
Okay.
get all too far in it. I struggled with it because I don't normally do 2D platformers and stuff.
Hmm.
But from what I played of it, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, as
Right,
I
yeah.
said, never tried Inside. So
Cool. Okay, number 3 is a game I've definitely not heard of. It's called The Witness. I've never heard of this game, but this was a 10. This is apparently 10 out of 10. According to IGN.
I got it free from PS Plus a couple of years ago, and I've played a little bit of it, but I never really got that into it.
I thought you were going to say free from the Epic Store.
A running theme.
I think we've
Actually,
got
Okay.
our,
I think it is.
we've got our
I think
episode
it is
title.
on Epic.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Buy
if
it
it
on
was.
Steam. Yeah. Steam sale, free on the Epic Store.
Hmm.
All right.
But no, don't know the game.
But Diz, you not heard of it?
No.
Text, you've not heard of it, I'm assuming?
I played it.
Oh, you played it?
Yeah,
Your
I have
thoughts?
it on PlayStation. I bought it before it went free. I
Okay.
had a very big interest in it. There is no kind of story to it as such. You are literally placed on an island, which is divided into 5 sections, and all of them have their each individual set of puzzles that you need to try and work out to essentially light a kind of thing in the middle of that smaller section to then aim it at the central part.
Mm-hmm.
I never finished it. The puzzles are varying in difficulty. They start off relatively easy, but then get more and more progressively difficult, and my brain could not compute, so I never managed to finish it.
Fair enough.
Even with some guides on certain puzzles, I still never managed to finish it. So I would like to try it again at some point, maybe on.
I put about 3 or 4 hours into it.
Okay. No, that's fair enough. So, but worthy of a 10 of 10, though?
I'd probably say
Wouldn't
not.
say.
No? Okay. Senpai's not sure. Text, you're like, not definitely, definitely not
I'd probably
worth a
say
10
7 out of 10 from what I played. But again, I
Fair
don't
enough.
know how the story goes.
Fair enough. All right, number 2 on the list. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Apparently this is 10 out of 10. I have not played it. I have it on Steam, courtesy of Humble Bundle. Cheers, guys. But I have no idea if this game is worthy of a 10 out of 10. I've heard mixed...
I haven't played a Metal Gear game since 1.
Yeah. Tex, you've played it or not played it?
I
or-
have. I bought it on release. I bought into the hype. I have played Metal Gear Solid 4. Couldn't really get into it because I didn't understand the story. I did some more research when Metal Gear Solid 5 came out, and as to where it sits in the timeline and everything. So I understood a little bit more.
Mhm.
But obviously, at the time of release, it had the whole Hideo Kojima controversy going on around its release, how they were removing his name from the game before it was releasing and everything. So there was all of that going on. And then what bugs me the most and why I couldn't fully get into it is because each mission is viewed as its own kind of episode. It gives you an intro with the credits, it gives you an outro with the credits, and it was like, if I want to play through a game that is this story heavy, this cutscene heavy, don't play each one like an episode. Let me play it like a game, not a TV show. And it completely put me off. It was fun with the gameplay that I got to play. I mean, you got to Vulcan out sheep, snakes, people, ammo, loads of other stuff. You just got to send up into the sky. That was fun. And the quiet fight, I had a lot of fun because you could call in a kind of care package. And if you knew exactly where she was when you were fighting her, you could literally drop one right on her head, knock her out. That was it. You won. I love doing that. I played that mission a good 3 times just to do that many, many times.
No, that's fair enough.
But again, the fact that it was played through episodically really bugged the crap out of me. I couldn't get far into it.
Fair enough. Diz, yourself, have you dabbled in any Metal Gears? Have you dabbled on that
I've
one?
not played the game, but I 100% trust the media. 10 out of 10.
All right, now we are number 1 on the list, and it's Grand Theft Auto 5. is 10 out of 10 and number 1 on their list?
8 out of 10, too much water.
there is a lot of water in that.
7 out of 10, not enough prostitutes.
It does take ages to find them. It's difficult. Like, the story is fantastic, the characters are fantastic, the gameplay's fantastic. If you're talking story mode alone, I would say 10 out of 10.
Right.
If you're talking online, where it's like, here's a brand new car, you're never going to be able to afford it unless you buy shark cards. Then, you get a solid 4, maybe 5 out of 10 for me. But the story mode game, agree, 10 out of 10.
I've said previously that I've got this game on everything I own. I've got it on 360, PS3, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I've played it all the way through on all of them. I love it to absolute bits. Is it 10 out of 10? Online, I take away online, because online is its own entity.
All right, let me
just
jumping
for
quickly.
Single player, 9.5.
When the game released, was the online thing available on release,
No, it
or was it just purely story? And then
Same as Red Dead.
Oh, so it literally came later. Oh, okay. So I think when they based the score, it
would have been on the single player,
just a single player campaign. So from what I'm seeing is, you're saying the single player campaign is worthy of a 10 out of 10, or you're like, it's 9, but there's still something missing. I know this is like 10 out of 10 for the single player. Senpai,
I probably would actually say it was 10 out of 10. It's not a game that I get overly hyped about, but it is one that I really, really did enjoy and still enjoy playing. Like I said, online, own entity, still love playing online.
Mm-hmm.
Will I get it for PS5? Probably
not. Are you sure?
No, you're getting it for free. You're getting it for free on the Epic Store.
Yeah, you get it for
online.
I mean, you would have to you'd have to keep the trend going, dude. You can't break it now.
I mean, is it keeping the trend going if it's just online?
Is it only the online, not the actual?
I think it is
just
full
online
game.
You get with it.
Oh, never mind then. Forget it.
For me, I never actually finished the story. I was playing through it on my PS3 when I managed to kill my PS3. So
wait, hold up. When you say kill your PS3, is this the same thing you did with your Switch?
No.
Okay.
No, I literally managed to kill it. I took it apart to clean it, dropped the motherboard. Something broke. It no longer booted. I got the yellow. I got the yellow light of death. And after that, I got another PS3 and lost my save. I was already a good 10, 12 hours in on GTA 5 through the story. I could never bring myself.
This is why cloud saves are a good thing, by the way.
I was about to say,
Yes,
wasn't the PS3? They weren't the thing, were they?
They weren't available
at
the time.
Oh, so yeah, it would have been on the hard drive for you back then, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeesh.
So,
okay, in your point of view, though, dude, 10 to 10? Or you...
From what I played of single player alone, I would say more of a 7 or 8 out of 10. But again, I never managed to finish it. Online section, but good bit of fun.
Yeah. Do you not have the full game now, though?
I do. I just still haven't finished it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I thought you might finish at this point.
No, I literally get as far as Michael being in his therapist office right at the very start of the game, where you can go start, online, go.
You've literally got as far as I have, and I don't even play the game.
That's as far as no. I made it further on the PS3. I made it further on the PS3 before I killed it. But that's as far as I go with anything else now before I go online. So
no, that's fair enough. But all right, but that was IGN's top 15 10 out of 10 games, I think, when they did that. So a majority of them definitely didn't deserve their 10 out of 10 score. I think we unanimously agreed one deserved it because we all loved the
Breath
game.
of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. But there was like an interesting selection of games on there that got 10 out of 10. But yeah, that was that segment of the are certain games worthy of the 10 out of 10 score.
Mm-hmm. I do have one final question for Diz though. Would you not give GTA 5 Online a 10 out of 10 purely for all the did not finish screens that you've seen?
That is true. You are DNF, dude. No, you are undefeated.
I'm sorry. DNF. I've tried to keep my swearing to a minimum here, but GTA Racing, get up its stupid ass.
It is for those of you who
don't know.
Oh my god. GTA Racing. on the Xbox.
I think-
Xbox,
I think we have a new record
Xbox
for
players on GTA Racing are bastards.
Senpai man, you need to switch to water, dude.
Yeah.
I
Oh
think
my
we've just
God.
got a new swear record.
Yeah. I think Senpai just capped it this episode. However, though, Diz, you are quite literally the king of the DNF on GTA Online for all of us.
It is
Gotta
a
be
very
the
well
king of something.
It is
Yeah.
a very well designed DNF screen. You got to admit this.
It is.
I've seen it enough.
Diz has seen
no
it
finish.
more than. Yeah. Oh yeah. There we go.
Oh.
Diz not finished. There we go.
All right. That can be taken out of context. Right. Well, we should wrap up there.
Oh wow.
The rags you'll have to say is differently. Anyway, as Diz said, I think we're going to wrap it up there for this episode. So, guys, I thank you everyone for joining me. Who are you guys, and where can everyone catch you on your Twitch channels?
Diz go
Who goes
first.
first?
Diz go first.
Diz.
Oh, I go first. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi. You can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/InvisibleDizz or on Twitter and Instagram, which is the same name, at InvisibleDizz.
Senpai?
You can find me at twitch.tv/SENPIEMAN, SENPIEMAN. Same for Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
I think the alcohol's getting to him. Lance?
I think it did, yeah. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/LancelotArcher. My Twitter handle is slightly different. It is at ShiroArcher. That was my original Xbox handle, but you can find me there as well.
Excellent. And I am Techsnologic. You can find me at twitch.tv/Techsnologic, and it's just at Techsnologic pretty much everywhere else. Guys, this has been episode 3. Thank you all for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.
Stay hydrated!